in his beauty and bland in his self-conceit, he rose from the pew and stepped before the chancel rails. "I would wait a moment if I were you, sir," he said respectfully, "and you will see that he will go out quietly." "What is wrong?" whispered the minister in some concern. "He thinks you are going to heave that book at him, sir, without giving him a fair show, as we do." The minister looked perplexed, but remained motionless, with the book in his hands. Bones arose, walked halfway down the aisle, and vanished like a yellow flash. With this justification of his reputation, Bones disappeared for a week. At the end of that time, we received a polite note from Judge Preston, saying that the dog had become quite domiciled in their house, and begged that the camp, without yielding up their valuable property in him, would allow him to remain at Spring Valley for an indefinite time; that both the judge and his daughter, with whom Bones was already an old friend, would be glad if the members of the camp would visit their old favorite whenever they desired, to assure themselves that he was well cared for. I am afraid that the bait thus ingenuously thrown out had a good deal to do with our ultimate yielding. However, the reports of those who visited Bones were wonderful and marvelous. He was residing there in state, lying on rugs in the drawing-room, coiled up under the judicial desk in the judge's study, sleeping regularly on the mat outside Miss Pinky's bedroom door, or lazily snapping at flies on the judge's lawn. "He's as yaller as ever," said one of our informants, "but it don't somehow seem to be the same back that we used to break clods over in the old time, just to see him scoot out of the dust." And now I must record a fact which I am aware all lovers of dogs will indignantly deny, and which will be furiously bayed at by every faithful hound since the days of Ulysses. Bones not only forgot, but absolutely cut us. Those who called upon the judge in store clothes he would perhaps casually notice, but he would sniff at them as if detecting and resenting them under their superficial exterior. The rest he simply paid no attention to. The more familiar term of Bonesy, formerly applied to him as in our rare moments of endearment, produced no response. This pained, I think, some of the more youthful of us, but through some strange human weakness it also increased the camp's respect for him. Nevertheless, we spoke of him familiarly to strangers at the very moment he ignored us. I am afraid that we also took some pains to point out that he was getting fat and unwieldy, and losing his elasticity, implying covertly that his choice was a mistake and his life a failure. A year after, he died, in the odor of sanctity and respectability, being found one morning coiled up and stiff on the mat outside Miss Pinky's door. When the news was conveyed to us, we asked permission, the camp being in a prosperous condition, to erect a stone over his grave. But when it came to the inscription, we could only think of the two words murmured to him by Miss Pinky, which we always believe effected his conversion: "Good dog." End of A Yellow Dog.